Hey folks, Pat here from DNS, and this Madison area fishing report is current as of Friday, January 3rd, 2025. Can you believe it? We made it through 2024. That was a strange one. Hopefully 2025 is a little more mellow than 2024, and I hope everybody had a safe and happy new year. Had been really busy here at the shop, so hopefully I can sneak this in here before we get started. I do want to stress that this report is for current conditions as of today's date. Many factors can cause ice conditions to vary, so please be careful no matter where you fish. For up-to-date ice conditions, please feel free to call the shop at 608-241-4225, and we can let you know what we're hearing around town, or if you run into some sketchy ice out there, call the shop and let us know, or post in the comments below. Just a few announcements before we get into the actual report. Muskie season is closed on the 31st. Trout season opens tomorrow, so that's the inland early catch and release trout season. It's a very exciting time. It's going to be a little cold. I'll talk about that a little later in the report when I cover trout, but it's a very exciting time, and boy, it went by quick. I hardly even noticed the trout season was closed this year. Yahara Fishing Club, awesome group. Kids free ice fishing day on the 25th of January is going to be an awesome event. So get down there. They got free rods for the kids, hot dog, lunch, beverage, folks on hand to help you out, drill the holes, and everything's set up for you. We're happy to donate the bait to this event. And yeah, check it out. A kid walk away with a free rod and reel. It's hard to beat. Do want to thank the folks at 27. Lucas Kim was the reporter, came through and did a nice little piece about ice safety tips and what's going on around town, but want to thank them for that opportunity. I posted that on social media. Y'all probably saw it. Other stuff, we have Jim Kasuda's video I put up on social media last night on our YouTube channel. So Jim was in wrapping up our winter seminar series talking about shallow water bluegills. Jim, of course, very well known around town. He's pro staff for Clam, Vexilar, Ice Team, all the big brands, and really, really knows his stuff. So he did a great job, gave a great presentation. I want to thank him for coming down and doing such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job, taking time out of his schedule. Also want to thank the folks that made it down. The weather that night sucked. That was that night we got like 5 inches of snow, and yeah, so thanks for everybody who made it out. I'm going to talk about it here in a sec, but we got some cold weather on the way. Which means we're going to have new ice, and I'm just going to pound this home all the time. Be as safe as you can out there, right? Ice picks, essential. Spud bar, great to have. A length of rope is great to have. These J ropes are super awesome. They're like a harness that pulls out to a rescue rope if you need it. Unfortunately, I'm out of them right now, but I got some more on order, so hopefully they get in soon. But yeah, with all this ice coming, not a lot of snow in the forecast either. You're going to want creepers out there. That ice is slippery, and I tell you what, you smack your head. I don't care how young or old you are, you can smack your head pretty good, or a million ways to injure yourself on the ice. So just be as safe as you can. Door posters. Marshall Lions Fishery, January 17th and 18th, up there to Marshall. There's this event, the Ladies Ice Fishing Day. They do out at on Lake Koshkonong at Dooner's Bar and Grill. That's on the 15th or February 1st, and that's ladies only. It's a cool event, though. It sounds like it's a lot of fun, and it's getting more and more popular. I hear they get good crowds down there for that. Got the poster here for the Kids Fishing Day, January 25th. And then this thing here is a poster from Culver's. Got a Culver's right next to the shop here, and you probably saw in the news. I know I did. They're doing a thing on January 6th where 15% of the proceeds from sales that day will go to the Abundant Life Christian School tragedy out there. So yeah, just got a poster up for that. So make sure you get over to a Culver's on January 6th and treat yourself and help out a good cause there. Okay, I think that's it for announcements. We can get into the report a little bit more. Weather-wise, we had a pretty mild start to the week. Rain last weekend, mild start to the week, but temps have been steadily falling the last few days. And looking at the 10-day forecast, I brought that up here. We got highs in the teens, 20s. It's not till the 17th it gets above freezing. So hopefully we can make some ice. I wish the wind here was a little bit lower. It'd be great if we had just one calm night and then she'd lock up. So anyway, I'll try to keep you as posted as I can on ice conditions, but we should be making some good ice here, and hopefully we're out over the big water soon. And I've been starting these reports with just kind of an ice update and then get into the actual fishing. And, boy, what a roller coaster of a week we had for ice conditions. When I gave this report last Friday, it was misting and they were only calling for a quarter inch of rain across the span of the entire day. Well, that turned into just over an inch of rain here in Madison. And the ice we had, especially along the shorelines, got sketchy pretty quick in a lot of areas. I gave a little ice update last Saturday. And, by that afternoon, I was running around that morning, and by that afternoon, we had a shack go through on Wabisa here. You can see that guy's in a world of trouble, and I guess I hear it's still stuck in the ice over there. So hopefully he's able to get that out. There were also several folks that went through over here on the North Triangle. That ice deteriorated pretty quick, and so you just got to be careful on this early ice stuff. And so I am going to emphasize that these thicknesses that I'm about to go over are what we had like Wednesday. Okay, so I haven't heard, it's been very cold the last 2 nights. I'm sure we've been making ice. I'm sure some of there's areas that have more ice than I'm saying here, and I'm sure some areas might be capped over. This is what I know right now. Okay, so Cherokee has around 7 inches of ice and generally safe for foot travel. I did see some open water around the island up here. So if you're familiar with Cherokee, there's an island right about here-ish, or about up here, and there was open water around that. Otherwise, everything's safe up there for foot travel on Cherokee. Lake Mendota is still wide open as far as I know. Still some ice up here. There's ice up in the North Bay, but I heard it was a little sketchy in the middle, so do use caution out there because there's current coming through. Otherwise, Marshall Park has ice. I don't know about any other ice. I know Warner Bay is wide open right now. Maybe University Bay is skimmed over, but it's definitely not safe. So just make sure you're careful out there anywhere you go. What is going on with my computer right now? Anyway, we're just going to try to get through this. What is going on? Can we do this? Okay, get this off. Keep that. Okay, we're back. Okay, so Lake Monona. Sorry about that. Pretty much the same thing down there. I said it was wide open last week. It wasn't actually wide open. It was skimmed over, but it was not safe for foot traffic or anything, so you shouldn't have been out there, and nobody was. So anyway, that's still the case. It could be skimmed over this morning. I'm not exactly sure, but the ice isn't safe either way. There is ice over here in Weechawbuck, formerly known as Squaw Bay, and they've been fishing over there. If I had to guess, there's 3-4 inches by now. Monona Bay has had ice for a couple weeks. If I had to guess, there's 6-7 inches on the bay itself, 3 to 4 on the North Triangle, and 6 to 8 last I heard on the South Triangle. Lake Wingara had 4 inches as of Wednesday, so that's probably about where it is. The ice below the dam over here has been sketchy, so or maybe that's below the dam. Either way, it's been sketchy, but this cold weather's bound to lock that up, and they've been getting some fish over there. So down the road here at Upper Mud, 6 to 8 inches last I heard, so I'm sure that's thicker by now. The path back there was sloppy on Saturday. I'm sure that's firmed up now that it's gotten nice and cold. There is still no snow, which makes it better for pulling through that mess, but it's a bumpy walk, but at least it's not a wet one. Wabisa Lake Farm has pretty good ice, 6 to 7 inches near the shore. That guy went out where there was 4 inches of ice as of last Saturday, and as of Wednesday, there was 4 inches of ice. I'm sure there's more now, and across the lake. I know folks are running ATVs out there, but do that at your own risk. I think there's plenty of ice down here, 4 or 5 inches in the South Bay. I just talked to a guy who said that's what he had. Lake Higanza, same thing, 4 to 6 inches last I heard, and I'm sure they're running ATVs out there. So, but do use caution, especially if you are running an ATV out there. And we're back. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Madison chain. Down to the Rock River, we've got Kashkanong has had some open patches down there, but generally safe. I know they're running ATVs around down there, but if you do that, do be careful. I heard they're getting some good crappies and walleye action down there, so there's that. What else we got? Beaver Dam Lake up here still sounds like they are they got a great crappie bite going on, great walleye bite. Heard about some good action. I don't know why my computer's doing this today. Otherwise, I still haven't heard anything off Devil's Lake. If anybody gets over to Devil's Lake, please let me know. Because yeah, that's should be rocking and rolling now as far as the trout go over there. River's obviously not fishable very much right now. Not a lot happening there anyway. Otherwise, over here on Lake Wisconsin, it sounds like they got at least 5 to 6 inches of ice everywhere. I haven't heard much about walleyes out in like the main deep areas, but some of the shallow bays have had good panfish action, but a lot of small fish from what I hear. Otherwise, as we move up the river, gosh, I don't know what is going on with my computer, but losing a little detail here. But anyway, we'll just limp through it. The Wisconsin River, all the way up to Petenwell and Castle Rock. Haven't heard much out of there. I guess I did hear there was a good walleye bite up here to Petenwell. Haven't heard much off Castle Rock. It's kind of the same thing over to the rivers or the Mississippi. Been hearing some good action at Stoddard and DeSoto, and they're out in a lot of those kind of main bays out there, but also the backwaters. Do be careful though in any of those situations, especially on rivers where you might have current or backwaters where you might have springs, and that goes for the Wisconsin River as well. I've been hearing about some decent action up and down the Wisconsin River. Otherwise, over to Milwaukee. I was actually over there on Tuesday. I had to pick my kid up there and decided to swing by the river. Wetted a line for a little bit in one of my favorite holes, and I caught a 7-inch brook trout, which I didn't know they were stocking in the Milwaukee River. So that's kind of exciting. I know it's worked up at Port Washington and some other places, so that'll be interesting to see if those brook trout will grow any bigger. I didn't catch any steelhead. I heard from a friend of a friend who fishes over there all the time that the brown trout have moved out, and it's mostly a steelhead game now, which makes total sense. I did see a guy across the river from me hook into what must have been a steelhead, looked like a steelhead, and he was using spawn sacks. So either way, no matter if you're tossing flies, you can swing streamers, bright colored streamers through runs, drifting, like a buggy looking nymph with an egg behind it is a good idea. Otherwise, spawn sacks, spinners, and jerkbaits work well if you're using spinning gear. Otherwise, like I said at the beginning, the catch and release inland trout season opens tomorrow. So obviously this is super exciting. If it were me, I'd wait until things warm up a bit, but you can do what you want. With a high 19 Saturday, you're going to get frozen hands, and icy guides and cold temperatures make the fish generally lethargic, but the cold temps can be hard on trout when exposed to air. So if you do go out and catch fish, make sure you keep them in the water as much as possible so you don't damage their lungs or gills, I guess. And in honor of that, I'm going to promote the pink squirrel. It's really the only winter fly you need, in my opinion. I'm going to go over other ones as we move through the Happy Fly Day report, which is back up and running here, obviously. But the pink squirrel, great winter fly for trout. Otherwise, these size 12s, great fly for bluegills through the ice. A lot of ice guys like them, and through on the water or in the spring under a bobber is a great way to fish them. So. I think that pretty much does it for the report. Sorry, my screen kind of glitched out here. Not sure what's going on there, but I do want to thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week. Again, feel free to call the shop at 241-4225 if you have any questions on stuff we talked about here. Otherwise, I will talk to you next week. Thanks so much.